I'm going to demonstrate how to do your binder cover in Adobe Illustrator. First thing, every time you log onto the computer, you want to double click on the Graphic Arts 1 server. Go under Students, under your period, under your name, and make a new folder and call this binder cover. You want to save all your artwork under here if you have anything like pictures you want to add, so that when you go to print it, it links to it and it will not show bitmapping. If you save it in your downloads folder and maybe your computer crashes or somebody empties the downloads folder, it's not going to link to that picture. It's going to show it's a missing link. So you want to make sure all your artwork is in here. Okay. So we're going to open up Adobe Illustrator and create new. Well, you want to make sure that it is for print. If you notice, there's print, web, media, film, art, illustration. So we've got a lot of different ways that we can design in Illustrator. And we want to change our measurement units to inches, and you might as well just title it here so you have it titled. You want to call it binder cover with your initials. You always want to make a unique name. And I don't think it lets me do anything else. I'm checking out the more settings. I don't think it allows you to put margins in here. We'll have to do that when we get into advanced. Let's see. This is bleed, but no margins. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel. And then you want to create the document. When it opens up your blank board. And sometimes you have palettes open and windows open. If you do not have the control panel on the top, it's under Windows Control. If you don't have the tools on the left, under Windows Tools Default. Just like in every Adobe program, you get that. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to show my rulers. So you can go Apple R, and that shows your rulers. And you want to pull a guide down from the ruler 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So these guides do not print. So I'm going to grab a guide in the ruler and bring it to 1/4 of an inch. Grab another guide in the ruler, bring it all the way over onto the other side, and the guide from the top to the bottom. 1/4 of an inch is about 2 of these at the normal size. You want to make sure you don't go all the way to the edge with your image because it's not going to show. Alright, so what we're going to use a lot in here, I'm going to show you how to do some patterns and some gradients and some fills and transparencies, stuff that you haven't done so far. So first thing you want to do, I want to draw a box inside that blue line. So if I use the rectangle tool and I draw a nice box, blue line to blue line. Currently the fill, which is on your toolbar, is white, and you have a stroke of black. You can also look up here, there's fill white, stroke black. We're going to go under Windows, and we want to get the swatches up. Now on the swatches palette, you have colors, gradients, patterns. Okay, so I can put a gradient in there. These are default, but you can find different ones. So on the lower left is the swatch library menu, and we're going to just choose a pattern. I'll go through. Once you open up one of them, it should open up another in a separate palette. If you can't see it, on the upper right, like a little hamburgers, you open it up, you can look at large thumbnail view. That way you can see it as a bigger size. And you can click on it and see what you like. Now you're probably like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Don't worry about it. You can always change colors of things. It just takes a little bit of time. You've got lines, boxes, and then you can keep going through, and now you can see some of the patterns that are in there. Find a pattern that you like. Oh, let's go a little wild today. I'm going to go with cheetah. Alright, so I might like this cheetah background, but if I go to put the words or images on there, it might be too dark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw another rectangle over it. And I'm not going to go the whole way, we'll just do a little bit. I want the stroke to be none, which is this little red line here. And the fill, I want it to be white. So on my swatches, I click, you can either go up here and click white, you can go in the swatches library and click white, Currently it is white 100%. Now if I want to, I can go under Windows to Transparency, and I can make it so it's a screen. So you can bring it down a little bit so it's not as crazy. Okay? And that way you can write on it, you can add graphics if you'd like, and it's still kind of see-through. I think you can also go under Effects, and do I have it under here? I'm trying to figure out where it's at. They moved it on me when we updated. I think, oh, there it is. Under Stylize, you can feather the borders a little bit if you hit the preview button, and you can see how it feathers it in. So, whoop, I did a little too much. So it kind of does a nice blend. And then you can type in your information. Now with the type tool in Illustrator, if I clicked on this box, it's going to type in that box. So I want to click out here. You do not have to make a type box. And then what you need to have on your binder cover is your name, spelled right. You have to have Graphic Arts 1 and your period. So I've got my type here. I'm using my type tool, and I want to make it a different typeface. So I'm going to click on the control panel and go through, and as you can see, it kind of changes it as I go over it. So you want to find a typeface that you like. That one's kind of cool. And because I'm in Illustrator, I can just drag it to the size I want. Alright. So I'm making a funky little binder cover. So now it actually looks readable. If you want to keep it black, that's fine. I'm going to change it and make it like a drop shadow. So I'm going to hold the Option key, and I'm going to drag it up a little bit, just so it's like a little offset. Whoops. Went a little too far. And then I'm going to change the color. Let's try this little, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool and select that. Ooh, that's too much. Nope, I don't want that. Maybe a nice little yellow or something. Or white. Okay, I didn't like that either. So I might choose it and go a little see-through-ish. Okay, so I kind of like that better. So that's my name. And then you have to put your Graphic Arts 1 period. So I've got, you have to have a background and a graphic. So if you want to place an image in here, you go File, Place. And if you want, you go to Schools Clip Art. I didn't do this yet. And find a photo to use. So if you go to Clip Art and you log in, Wave 1 through 10, password green. So Wave 5, password green. When it says, do you want to save, don't ever save it. And then you want to go to Photos and choose JPEG. So for this one, I'm going to find a cheetah. I like cheetahs. I like cats. So find a cheetah photo that you would like to use. Oh, there's some nice ones. So let's see if there's any good ones on this page. Alright, I'm going to go back. I like this chillaxing one here. So I take the picture. You want the largest file format at 300 pixels per inch. 72 pixels per inch is for web, 300 and above is for print. And because I'm doing the largest one, it's going to be a nice big image. So I'm going to download it. It's going to open it up in another window. You can right click on it and save image as. I'm getting there. Save image as. Find your folder on the Graphic Arts 1 server. So you're going to go desktop, Graphic Arts 1, students, period 5, under your name, under binder cover. And I'm going to rename it Cheetah. So I have it. I know what it is. And I'm not looking at miscellaneous stuff. So to put an image in, of course, on Illustrator, you got to go File, Place, then go to your desktop and you want to go to Graphic Arts 1, under your name, period 5, yada yada yada, you know the drill. Find your image and place it. Now it might be large. Anytime you have a graphic, you always want to hold the shift key and scale from the corners. That way you scale it proportionately. And I like that just like it is. You can put a box over it to put a frame. I'm going to go under Effects, Stylize, and we're going to do a outer glow. And what color outer glow do I want? I want to do a nice orange outer glow. If I hit the preview button, you should see it a little bit. Well, it's not too big, so I want to make it bigger. I'm not seeing it too much. Okay, so I didn't like that. So then maybe I will just take a box, go over this to make it about the same size. But I don't want the fill to be that. I want the stroke to be yellow and the fill to be none. And then I can make it a nice thick frame. Okay, then the next one you're going to do, you're going to put your Graphic Arts 1 and your period on it. Now you can, again, just type normal, but if you use the brush tool, you can actually draw a line, whichever way you want to go. And any of the tools, when they have in the bottom right, the little arrow, you can click and hold down a tool. So I'm holding down the type tool, and I've got type on a path. So I can click on my path, and I can put down and type Graphic Arts 1. I'm doing Option 8 to give me a bullet, and I'm going to put period 5. Select it, and I can enlarge it up here, but I also can enlarge it using the keyboard. If I do Shift, Command, and the period, it enlarges it. Centering up here, or you can do Shift, Command, C, and it centers it. And then I want to change the typeface to match that typeface. So instead of me figuring it out, I can use the eyedropper tool and click on the typeface, and it changes it to that color. And then we need to center it. If you notice it's not really centered, when I made the line, I clicked here, and that's where the left hand is. So if I use the direct selection tool, which is the solid arrow, I can grab, whoop, no, I don't want to grab that. I can, let's select the type again. See how there's a little cursor right there with the block? I can grab that little cursor and drag it all the way to the edge. Okay, don't they change my typeface? I'm going to highlight with the type tool, and I want a solid orange 100. Okay, that looks horrible, so I'm going to change it just to black. I don't really want it to be as noticeable, but it didn't change all the typeface, so let's see. It's A calling as the typeface, so I go up here, A calling, and there it is. I can make it bigger. Now you can change things if you don't like it. You can change the colors. Maybe I want to do white fill, black outline. Won't like that either. So I'm going to leave it just black with no stroke. Other things you can do, investigate the different tools we have. If you hold down the rectangle tool, you'll find out you have ways to do a polygon or a star. So I can add little stars on here. And if I want to, I can fill it with yellow. Whoop, not the stroke. I want the fill. And then I can rotate them if I want. There's a rotation tool here. Maybe I'll put a black stroke around it. So I click on the stroke, make it black. Up here you can change the width, and you can actually change what kind of stroke you have. So there's actually ways to make it look more drawn. So I'm just adding a couple little stars here and there, just because I like to do that. Now the other tool that's in here, that's under the rectangle tool again, there's what's called a flare tool. Now typically you don't want to put it on the top, you want to do it in the background, but I'll show you what it does. It's a lighting effect that when I click and drag, if I click off of it, you'll see it kind of adds a little flare. It's a little hard to see with a patterned background, but if I take this background and I change the background to, let's say, a fill, solid fill, you will see how that can affect your background. So you just click and drag all the way around. I can do little, I'm just pulling, clicking, pulling, playing around with it. Adds a little lighting effect. I click off of it, you can see how it made those lighting effects there. But I don't really want it on my photo or over my words, so you might want to do that before you put your words on, or you'll have to click on your words, right click, arrange, and bring to front. So after you finish your design, I'm going to go back to my cheetah frame, you want to save it in your folder. Make sure you don't misspell anything. So you want to go save as in your folder. Once you finish, print it out. Make sure it looks good, what you're looking for. If it is, then you can put it inside the front of your binder. And then you're going to come back to Illustrator, make it a PDF. So you go File, Save As. Pull Illustrator down here to PDF and upload your PDF to Schoology. And you always choose high quality print. Thank you.